Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Guns Up Review. Today, I'm going to talk to you about the difference between Picatinny Rail and this M-LOK system that's on the side of this. What's the difference in the two? Come right back and I'm going to tell you. Okay, so you see a lot of things online about ways to mount different things on your AR. Your optics, flashlights, lasers, grenade launchers, whatever, right? There's a million different things you can put on an AR type platform. Now, this doesn't only go for ARs. This is also like a lot of Glock pistols now are coming with a Picatinny rail under them for mounting an optic under the barrel. And so you're seeing this on a lot of weapons now. And it's pretty popular to use. So the Picatinny rail, which is this here on the top, it's kind of a serrated rail. Was kind of invented by the Picatinny Arsenal and or come up with there at the Picatinny Arsenal in the 1994 neighborhood, and they looked at what was on the market before. So a Weaver rail had been around since forever, and that was a dovetail type rail that went on top of like your old 22s, and Marlin used to use that a lot. But you could buy a little Weaver rail for forever and bolt it on any. So if you have an older gun that has a rail system on it, it's probably a Weaver rail. Now, Weaver rail is not quite as thick as this, and you'll see here the Picatinny rail has a square opening in the bottom of it. The Weaver rail has a little round opening. So the nice thing is that anything that would fit a Weaver rail before will fit a Picatinny, but not necessarily backwards, because if it was built to fit a Picatinny rail, it won't necessarily go back and fit the old Weaver rail. So you see a lot of things on online to mount to something like your AR, and you see an M-LOK, and you're like, what is M-LOK? Well, M-LOK are these little slots here on the side of the forestock on my gun. Now what's going on there is Magpul came up with this in Austin, and this was pretty much standardized in 2014. So this isn't that old. It's 2020 now, so 5-6 years old. And you're starting to see this as a very standard option. So why didn't they just go with the Picatinny only? I mean, what's the necessary? Why do we need another kind of mounting system? Well, let me show you. Here's a picture of my Daniel Defense AR-15. And this Daniel Defense AR has a quad rail Picatinny on the front of it. And it's terribly uncomfortable to hold because the Picatinny edges, these edges here, are, they're pretty sharp. And when you've got 4 openings like on that Daniel Defense rifle, it's uncomfortable to hold that, and you almost need some kind of a grip or something, a forward grip to hold, just because it's just uncomfortable in your hand. So the nice thing about this is this is a Alpha battle rail from Troy Industries, made in the United States of America, and it's a great forestock. It's aluminum, and it has both systems on it. So it's got Picatinny all the way out to the end. Now, why do you need this much on here on the Picatinny? Well, if I mount a scope on here, the scope may come out to here, right? So I may have a scope that has 2 mounts that are pretty far out here. And then if I have enough room behind that, I could actually mount, I've got my night vision, which has a quick connect Picatinny attachment. I can mount that behind that. So I can move my optics forward depending on what I'm stacking up there. The thing about like this rifle, now I built this rifle in probably 2013 or so. So Troy had just come out with this. This was one of the very first ones they ever made. I had to wait in line to get it. But to hold this, it's very comfortable. It's smooth. And you can shoot this all day, and your hand is it's very comfortable to shoot. Okay? So I really like that about it. But once you have this, then you lose the kind of the modular ability to add things to it. Well, you get 2 things from this. You get venting, and then you also get where you can add things to it. And this will accept the new M-LOK system. Now, even though I built this, and Troy built this, before the M-LOK system was standardized, they anticipated that was coming, and it fits this just fine. But anything after 2014 ought to be standard M-LOK. If it has these slots cut in your forestock somewhere. Okay, and so I'll lay that down up there. And what we'll do now, this one is deceiving. Okay, this is my AR-10. This is a 260 Win Mag AR-10, and it has a JP stock on it. Now, I tried to fit an M-LOK on here, is too thick. I built this one in 2012. I think it says it right here on it. And this particular one, I don't know if the new ones from JP accept M-LOK or not, but it looked like they were going for that kind of style. But it doesn't. It's the threads are deep. The aluminum up here is thicker, and it won't fit that just right. And so, you know, if you have anything that's made after 2014, you're safe. As far as, do I buy an M-LOK or not? Does mine fit the M-LOK? Anything after 2014, you should be good to go. So let's show you how it works. And let's mount our 1-inch tactical flashlight to the front of my AR. Now I don't need a flashlight on here, but I'm just going to mount this just for showing you. And then I'll show you how easy this is to mount this with a couple of products I got off of Amazon. What I'm going to be using to mount this is this. This is what you see is M-LOK. This is a handguard. This is a 1-inch ring mount from Fileland. These are on Amazon.com, and they're cheap, like $13, $14. And what do you get when you open this package? Well, here's what you get. Okay, this is the mount. Okay, so you see that it's that the opening here is not round, because as I separate these two halves, it allows me to have some clamping force on that 1-inch flashlight that's going in the middle of it. So I have 4 screws, 1, 2, 3, 4, that are going to clamp the clamshell together and hold that together. And what you do is run those down and tighten them evenly, not one side all the way down, then the other side, but leave the spacing the same, and then eventually work all 4 of them around, tighten them a little bit at a time. So the quality, you think, well, I don't want any of that made in China stuff. Well, there's not a lot to mess up on this. This is an aluminum machine part. It's a billet aluminum part. It's anodized. It's got a real thick anodized coating on it. And there is no need to go pay $50 for something like this when you can buy one on Amazon for $13. The quality is extremely nice, and it comes with a little wrench to tighten your screws up here. It also comes with extra T-nuts, and these are the T-nuts down here on the bottom. So what the T-nuts do, and you'll see this in a lot of automation, a lot of industrial application, where there's a T-nut. So the T-nut will go through the slot, and then as you start to tighten it, what the T-nut does is it turns 90 degrees and locks. Okay, and so I don't know if you can get enough light on that to see that, but instead, so the T-nut will turn as you tighten them to that position and lock, and allow you don't have to put a backup on that to tighten it up. It locks in that rectangular slot, and then all you have to do is run them down, tighten them up. The nice thing about those is when you loosen it, all you do is loosen the screw, and when you loosen it, the nut, once it gets loose, will turn 90 degrees just from the torque on the bolt. And then all you have to do is lift it out of the slot, and you're done. So it's easy in, easy out. It's quick install. The one thing that you might be able to, you know, if you wanted to step up to something that's probably a little more expensive, would be a quick disconnect. So if you wanted to put this on your rifle and take it off, then you'll have to have a different type of M-LOK fastening system that has maybe a quarter turn or handle there that you would twist and lock this on there. This one is going to take that you take it apart, tighten the bolts up, and then put it on there. So it takes a little bit longer to put it on there. But this is really, really stout, super lightweight, nice anodized coating, and extremely high quality. So I'll put a link of this to this in the description. And if you're looking for something like this for a flashlight mount, don't be afraid to go on Amazon and get you some of these. Here's another style. Same exact thing, right? Same thing, clamp your light in, except this one has kind of an offset and it's raised up. Or I guess if you mounted it upside down, an offset and lowered down. Whereas this one is just right on the midline there. So these are two different styles, but both of them do the exact same thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one here, this guy, And I'm going to mount this on my AR-15. I'm going to run it kind of in double speed so you can kind of see what this looks like being put together, and how easy it is to mount to your rifle. And then I'll show you that. So here we go. All right, so there you go. That's how easy that is to put on there. And what you get is you're like very firmly attached here. This is not going anywhere. I can't even wiggle this. Okay, so that is really on there. And, you know, like I said, this is going to be on there. The only way to take this off is to take this front plate off, remove my flashlight, of course, and then take those 2 screws and turn them a quarter turn until they get loose, and then that whole thing will slide off there. So I hope you can pick you up some of these little M-LOK accessory locks for the side of your rifle. Really handy, and I hope this helps. All right, we'll see you next time here on Guns Up Review.